And so it's very important that we vaccinate, every 3-year-old on Earth at the cost of $10,000 a vaccine shot against, yo-yo disease. You jog my memory or jog my thoughts. I've described Bitcoin as a swarm of cyber hornets behind a wall of encrypted energy. Well, the United States is a river of donkey crap. I mean, the insulation is the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, 3,000 miles of water. You had to go through the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. And that protected a bunch of capitalists, a bunch of entrepreneurs work, in service of the goddess of wisdom, in this case, in service of the American way, right? The American businesses pursuing the American dream, unhindered by interruption, because they're behind a river of donkey excrement. And politicians, they don't even hide that. It's not a cliche. It's a deep reality. Money is the highest form of power, the superset of all power. Every kinetic energy, I can take bows and arrows and guns, club you to death, and take your money, or to take your value. I remember seeing eagles. I put some dudes with guns on it. I fly 16, 18 hours around the world. I live in Miami Beach. Sometimes I run around and people have guns in Miami. And you can carry concealed carry permit, right? A young debutante that looks harmless can be walking around with a gun in her purse. And you think twice when it's 2 a.m. and you're in a bar and everybody's drunk before you're pushy or rude, right? And then you think, maybe I shouldn't be in a bar at 2 a.m. when people are drunk. And then you think, maybe I shouldn't mouth off to someone that just cut me off on the highway. Somebody pulls over and they shoot you dead. Yeah. And you think, I just ought to be very polite to everybody walking down the street, because every single person could have a gun concealed on their person. And maybe I'll be nice to people today. Now, it's a deterrent, right? And so you want to gang up 10,000 to 1 on the centipede, you get to do it. But you go to Poland, they're good people too, right? I've been there. I have a lot of Polish employees. They're brilliant. Between Russia and Germany, sometimes, again, Trotsky's point, you may not be interested in war, but war is interested in you. It's kind of hard to go about your business when people are rolling over you with tanks, by the way.
Right.
And their technique is they realize they got a catapult and they start tossing rocks down the gravity well. And they just take a big rock, put it in their catapult, and it doesn't take that much force to toss it off the moon because they're low G.
Right.
They're tossing the rock out of a 1/8 G or whatever, and it hits the earth, goes into a trajectory, and of course it starts picking up speed. And by the time it lands, it's like an atomic warhead.
Wow.
They just start tossing them at random places until the Federation Empire that's oppressing them decides that maybe it's had enough.
Wow.
And of course the lesson is, right, it's humans channeling energy, but they're channeling gravitational energy, and a lot of it. And there's a lot more energy than the stuff that we have. All through human history, since 1 million years ago to today, it's really the story of intelligent people looking around for where is the energy coming from,
right,
and how do I channel it in a network in order to achieve something harder, smarter, faster, stronger. Of course, you got to bribe the guy in Istanbul, or maybe your son marries his daughter. And that's how you get to come in and out of Istanbul without getting murdered or getting your stuff stolen. And eventually all the families in Venice intermarry. Like, I know you, you're my second cousin. Now, and what's the definition of a smuggler or a pirate? The definition of a smuggler is someone that doesn't want to give me half their stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how do I stop that? I have to have a Navy that goes to kill them.
Yeah.
So, but we can also reach too far and try too hard and try to make water flow uphill and try to make time flow backwards. We can try to shake our fist at Mother Nature. We can defeat all of those natural forces. And if we try to do that, the energy consumption goes up exponentially. And eventually it goes up to such a level that we deplete ourselves of energy. And we end up like those natives on Easter Island, where you chop down every tree to build your monuments to your gods, and pretty soon there's no canoes, and pretty soon there's no fish, and pretty soon there's no food, and pretty soon there's no you. All you've got is your monuments to your god, and you're all dead because you depleted the energy in the ecosystem in pursuit of over-engineering your reality.
It's just frightening, horrifyingly, terrifyingly entertaining, right?
Plus or minus 4 inches.
Incredible large.
So what's the solution? The solution is, in the real world, you have skin in the game. If you walk up to women on the street and you insult them, you take the risk that the person next to them or they punch you in the face.
Right.
Right. And if you drive your car and you get in a wreck, you get fined and then you get an insurance claim and there's consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go rent someone's house for the summer and you trash the house and you have a security deposit, they take it. Or if you rent an apartment, the security deposit, and you trash it, they take it. So there's skin in the game, and that causes people to act with some degree of civility.
Mm-hmm.
There's no civility in cyberspace because there's no skin in the game.
I put a kerosene lamp in the back of my horse and buggy.
Right.
And I tell all my horse and buggy customers that now they can read a book while they're in the horse and buggy crossing the nation. Or I put a kerosene heater in the back of the buggy because my customers complain about it taking 30 days to go across the Rockies in a buggy, and so I heat them up.
Rules like, don't bring your horse into the middle of the village because he's going to crap all over everything. And
what do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
well, the real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it. They're buying the real estate because they expect
because they want to sell it eventually, Michael. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people who are, yes, sure, some people pass it on to their children, but like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit. So let me say it a different way. You carry 30 pounds of fat, that means you'll probably be able to live an extra 60 to 90 days without food when the going gets tough.